What's going on, everybody? This is Drew here. I want to welcome you all to a brand new episode of Phoenix Down. This is Phoenix Down 124.4, and we are continuing our playthrough of Resident Evil 4 Remake. Today I have with me Matt.
Hello.
And you see we said continuing our playthrough and not concluding our playthrough. Man, that chapter 14 is very, very long.
I was going to say, I wholeheartedly thought I could finish the game, and maybe I could have, but I was just counting on at least one of these last chapters to be short. And the last two, 13 and 14, both took me just under 2 hours each.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, this was a longer one. Is that where we started? We started with 13, or did we do 12, 13, 14?
Yeah, I think you were actually just 10% left in 12, right? In the mines? Yeah. Or no, that's 11.
Is the mines 11?
Yeah, the mines is 11. Clock tower's 12.
13's what?
13's the island.
14's the island, though.
14 is the cargo depot.
Oh, right. Yeah. Holy crap, man.
Yeah, it's all on island, but they certainly... you get your money's worth on this island.
Uh-huh. No kidding. Jeez, I forgot about that. But yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, Matt, you finished chapter 11. I was still... I was a little bit more than halfway. Yeah, I had to do the minecart. I was not able to beat the minecart without getting hit, so I didn't get that achievement.
I didn't either. I didn't die in it, but I did get hit once or twice.
Yeah, I didn't die either, but that minecart was awesome.
I was just going to say, I can't do a minecart in any game without thinking of Donkey Kong. Is there an earlier game that really makes minecarts exciting or a big set piece?
I don't know.
Or was it Donkey Kong Country that did it? Because for me, that's the one I remember when I was a kid, just being like, "Wow, this is exciting."
Yeah. I think, and I think they all stole it from Indiana Jones. Yeah. So I don't know. That's a good question. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country would probably be the one that I would think of next. But it's fast paced. There's 2 parts to it. You got to shoot enemies before they hit you. You got to change the tracks. So you got to change the switch on the tracks.
They had nice big levers to hit.
Yeah. And a bright red sign to shoot. You got a chainsaw guy who's constantly following you in another minecart.
There was that little gap between the minecart rides, which is where you have to, or where you can find one of the little toys that make that kind of clicking noise.
I have yet to find those. I see that there's an achievement for getting all of them, but I couldn't find them.
I think I've just found another one, so I've gotten 4 out of 16. I'll probably end the game having shot 4 of them.
Yeah.
But they don't actually do anything other than it's just a weird collectible thing, right? I don't think it has any impact on the game by getting like 2 or 5 or 10 of them.
I don't think so. I think it's just for achievements. But, yeah. Get through the minecart area. And, we're making our way. But, unfortunately, we're talking to Luis, and he stops mid-sentence, falls to the ground with a knife in his back. And a old familiar face, Major Krauser, Jack Krauser, is standing there. And he has a bone to pick with Leon. So Leon, I guess that was like his mentor?
Yeah.
Like the one that taught him the CQC.
Yeah. Definitely did teach him CQC.
Yeah. And he's working with the Ganados.
Supporter of Dr. Albert Wesker.
Yep. And yeah, we got to square off with him. And this fight we have to just use the knife. I don't think you can actually shoot him.
I don't think so.
And I didn't find this very difficult. It's I was curious of how they would handle this fight because I remember this fight from the game, from the original game, and it was all quick time events. And if you messed up a quick time event, you died and had to start over. This one's really. How do I feel about this? How did you feel about it, Matt?
It was a little easier than I expected. And I kind of felt like because it was on the easier side that it was a little bit more almost like a training. So you do use these same tactics later when you fight Krauser, but I kind of felt like if you're going to set this up as a real boss mechanic, that I would have wanted to see it maybe a little bit more. Because it doesn't feel like it evolves that much through the fight, unless I'm misremembering it. I mean, you kind of do the same thing until he's done.
Yeah, I felt like it was anticlimactic.
Yeah,
I kind of preferred the cutscene with QTEs, if we're being honest. I don't know, because it was just like I'm just slashing, hit the dodge, hit the button to parry, slash. I was like,
I don't even think I slashed him that much. Maybe I did a couple of times, but it was mostly trying to get the 3 or 4 stacked parries so that he puts his hands on his knees and you can melee him.
Yeah, you can do that too. I just started slashing him until he died, pretty much, or ran away, I should say.
Yeah, it definitely was one of the easier boss fights, but I don't know. Overall, I don't think the boss fights are all that hard in this game. They're nicely cinematic, but they're not overly difficult. I find some of the kill rooms are where I die a lot more often.
Absolutely. Or the special scenarios where you're separated from Ashley, and holy crap, I'll talk about that in a minute. So, yeah, unfortunately, Krauser runs away. This ain't over, rookie. And we run back to Luis, and Luis ain't going to make it. I think some of his dying breath was, "Hey, I turned out to be a good guy in the end, right?" Is atoning for his sins of working with the Ganados.
It was a nice little happy ending.
Yeah, I guess.
Or bittersweet ending, I guess.
But we got to move on. Still trying to find Ashley. And that's when we go to it's part laboratory, right?
Yeah. Where they're researching the Plagas.
Yeah. Because they're making creatures here, which we will become very intimate with. This section was kind of nerve-wracking for me because you had the door. You could see Ashley, but we couldn't get through the door. You got to get a key card. And you find out that you got to get a key card that starts at level 1. And you have to upgrade to level 2 and then upgrade to level 3. And where Ashley is kind of like a little hub area where you can run back and you have to go through different hallways. And, all right, get the key card. Well, you got to switch the power to the other wing of this area. And when you do that, power goes out in the wing that you're at. So this is where we're introduced to, and I'll be honest with you, I completely forgot about this enemy. Much like how I forgot about the blind dudes.
Yeah.
The regenerators.
And the regenerators.
Yeah, the regenerators. They, man, these guys are annoying.
Yeah.
So they don't make the sound anymore, or maybe I'm playing on too low of a sound like volume.
It
But I
says they
remember
make the sound, but I didn't hear it either. I'm in your boat.
that you know the sound I'm talking about.
Wheeze.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like that. I
Yeah.
didn't hear it
The
because
creepiest things. Yeah, I didn't either.
I remember in the original they used to creep me out.
Yeah.
But this one it kind of just like it's almost like it's made out of like taffy because it will like reach for you and then its head will come later kind of thing. But the thing with the
It does
regenerator,
other things like that too. Like when you shoot it. For me, I don't know if it was tied to how many of its spots you shot, but usually after like the second one or so, it would flop on the floor and kind of swim around like a fish.
uh-huh, and then try to like jump on you.
Yeah, usually it did jump on me.
And they're fast too, man. They run.
Yeah, yeah. Between that thing where they kind of like swivel up at you versus, sometimes they just like put their arms forward like a zombie and just like run at you, bum rush you.
Mm-hmm.
They were fast, and that was pretty scary because I also knew that most of my weapons didn't do much other than slow it down a little.
Yeah. So that's the trick to killing a regenerator for good is you have to shoot the parasites that are inside of it. They usually have 3, and you need a high-powered gun to do that, and you can't see the parasites with the naked eye. You have to use I guess like a I think they call it a biometric scope. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. It looks like it's kind of like a heat sensor.
Yeah, heat vision or something.
Heat vision, yeah. Thermal vision.
Thermal vision, yeah. But you luckily when you get to this area, you find one and you can attach it to a certain gun. There's 2 guns that I own that I can put it on. I can put it on that like assault rifle that I found, and then you pick up a MP5 that you can attach it to. And to begin with, I was using the MP5 because I had more submachine gun ammo. But that does no damage. I can't penetrate the body to hit those parasites.
I ended up using it because I was mostly using the rifle, which for the first shot was great, right? If they don't know you're coming, you can really line up your shot. You can pop one of those vital points immediately with a single shot. But then I couldn't ever hit anything else.
Yeah, because they're running.
Yeah, when they're flopping on the floor or running around, like especially when you come out of this area, and I'm trying to get the 2 that are like stuck behind the doors. Man, I had to keep like running out to get them to come after me, then running backwards, and then just trying to get them in that time when they would lose interest and slowly turn around because the rest of the time I felt like they were running and I just couldn't hit them, so I ended up basically having to use the MP5.
Yeah. But yeah, and the whole time these regenerators are coming for you, you're having to upgrade this key card. So you get in that one part where there's like multiple like tubes where there's a bunch of them there, and if you play your cards right, you'd only have to deal with the one of them because you have to get one of them swallowed the wrench that you need. But the thing is like if you stand close to the tubes, the regenerator will attack and you'll get out of the way and it'll smash the tube, and now you got 2 regenerators coming after you. So
or the other guys that come in and throw off grenades and such and blast open those cryo tubes.
Fun times. I died here a few times.
I died here once, but I actually took out 3 of the regenerators, all of the guys. But then when I went out to get the last 2 that were in the hallway, I had no ammo left. And I couldn't really do anything. And then one killed me, and I did it again, and I was more careful about only taking out the one with the wrench so that I could conserve more ammo.
Yeah. So here's I'm the idiot who returned back to this place to take out the hard one.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I did. This dude killed me like 4 times, but I did kill him in the end.
Funky one?
What now?
Which one was the hard one?
The hard one is the one that has like 6 parasites in him. It's the mission that you get from the merchant.
Yeah, I saw that and said, hell no.
Yeah, I
want
did
those
it.
spinels, but
The problem is that I only... So, there's 2 issues with that fight. The first one being he's hard because he has like 6 parasites. The second thing is he's not a regular Regenador. He's what they call an Iron Maiden. And the Iron Maidens have these spikes that come out of them. And occasionally he will just shoot those spikes out. So it's like a shrapnel being sent your way. Well, the time I actually beat this area, I only killed the one with a wrench and didn't bother with the other guys. I went back there, and the first thing he did was shoot shrapnel everywhere and release the other 3. Way. Yes. I had to deal with 4 of those guys.
So where was he? Was he just roaming around?
He's just roaming right there in the middle of the lab.
Same room.
Yep. So, but I did take that guy out.
On the subsequent try, when you didn't have to fight the other 3?
No, I ended up having to fight the other 3. What I did was when I ended that fight where I succeeded, I had no ammo to my name. I had 0 ammo and 2 grenades. That was it.
I mean, I don't think I've had a point in the last 4 hours of this game when I would have enough ammo to take out 4 of them.
I got lucky.
I've been very light on ammo, especially with my inability to zoom in on the parasites within them. I mean, I have to use like a whole clip, I feel like, to take out one of them.
That's why I switched to the assault rifle. Assault rifle was pretty good at hitting them, and I just kind of tried to reposition myself, like I would run to the other side of the room.
Yeah.
And the Iron Maiden's get into like this loop of just shooting spikes at you and not actually coming for you. So you
Is
have
there any chance those spikes hurt the other ones, or they would never puncture a parasite spot?
I doubt they'll ever puncture a parasite spot. But when it's getting ready to shoot the spikes, you got probably about a 3-second window to pop off a shot. So I was okay. But yeah, I did fine there.
It's impressive. I contemplated going back for him, but I'm like, look, I barely got out of there last time. I don't have any ammo. I just said, all right, I'm gonna keep going.
Probably for the best, because I ended up with no ammo after that. But the game can be generous when it comes to giving you ammo when you don't have it.
I did miss out though. The first time I fought them, I got the extra jewels. You get an emerald and something else.
Yeah.
For the additional Regenerators that you kill.
The good thing is I actually got the achievement for selling something that was worth 100,000. So I made the crown.
Nice.
And was able to do 5 different colors. And that's it worth exactly 100,000. So
mine was worth like 92 or something, or 90.
That's still nothing to scoff at. The at the end of this play session where we're going to talk to, I have fully upgraded the DLC gun, the handgun. So nice. It is fully upgraded, and it has the exclusive upgrade, which is 5 times critical hit damage.
Oh, that's crazy.
The handgun is all I really need now.
Yeah. I fully upgraded the Blacktail with the exclusive upgrade as well, which does like 1.5x damage. And I think it does it for every shot. So it's pretty good. I use that for almost everything.
Well, and then I also fully upgraded and got the exclusive upgrade for the the shotgun that I'm using, the one that has the round
clip.
One?
Oh, that's the round clip.
Yeah. Like, it looks almost like a grenade launcher, but it's not a grenade launcher.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Is that one better than the tactical one? Because I saw that, but didn't go for it.
Better than the riot gun, you mean?
Yeah, the riot gun.
Yeah. When you upgrade it, it does expand a little bit better.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. So I got that one fully upgraded. The exclusive upgrade for that was, you can hold 2 more shots. So I think that sucker can hold like 12 shots now.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I can't remember. And it shoots really fast. I mean, it's like a fast shotgun, like that. It's really good. Problem is, I never really run into much shotgun ammo.
Me either. I feel like I have to make some when I see, because often in this game you can tell when you're in a zone that's going to get flooded with enemies in a minute. Yeah. Right? You can see its open spaces. You can see the multiple levels. You can see usually some exploding barrels sitting around. You kind of know what's coming. So that's usually when I'll just sit there and make some shotgun ammo. Like, I know I'm going to need this within 5 minutes.
Yeah. So, after getting through this laboratory area, we make it back, got the key card, and we unlock the door. We go and meet back up with Ashley. She is suffering pretty badly from the parasite inside of her. We give her the suppressant and wait for her to wake up.
And then, I was going to say, and then what? Take a nap?
I guess.
He kind of sits down next to her and the screen goes dark.
Yeah. He does this smooth animation. Did you watch that? You see that with the gun?
With the when he checks the clip?
Yeah, the barrel? He does it one-handed, flips the gun over, checks to see if there's a round in the chamber, and then flips it back over. I was like, man, that's smooth as hell.
Yeah. That was cool.
But, that's the end of that chapter. That's chapter 12.
We actually missed the clock tower was 12. But it's a pretty short level, though, to be honest, I think, relative to 13 and 14.
Oh, wow, wait.
So it's basically after the minecarts.
That's right, we got another boss fight. I forgot to talk about the boss fight.
Yeah, we got like the cathedral with the clock tower.
That's right.
And that,
you got to climb it up while it's breathing fire at you.
Yeah, and spiked balls coming down at you.
Yep. I was able to use the spike ball to my advantage because I kind of just bum rushed the top to take out that guy.
Yeah.
And then just started throwing the balls down at the guys, and they just so stupid.
And walk right into them.
Walk right into them. And then afterwards, I cleaned up and I just walked around just picking up stuff, looting the bodies. And
this was the level where I wasn't sure what the impact was of like trying to ignore the guys that are around you to try to get the robed guy who activates the Plagas, the red robed guy with the skull mask. Because when I finally did my last, I think I died once or twice here on the way up on the elevator piece. I just ended up ignoring them, going right after him, a couple of rifle shots, and he goes down. And I just felt like that ended up saving me so much ammo and lost health because of the guys that surround me, and the fact that not only does he activate them to make them harder, but his like call will like cause you to stumble, right? Because you're infected as well. So I feel like those two things together, I was like, look, it's just not worth letting him stick around anymore. Like I don't care if I take a few extra hits. I just need to get him out of the picture.
Yeah, no, that's top priority for me whenever I see one of those guys. Because I really don't want to, like, if I got a flash grenade, sure. But I can easily pick off dudes. Like, it's to a point now, like especially with my handgun, 2 shots to the leg, they fall over, and then I run over there and kick them, and they're usually dead after that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, same. Now, once I added that exclusive 1.5x modifier, shooting them in the knee usually makes them go down immediately. Almost definitely if I take the time to let the reticle focus.
Yeah.
So I feel like if that's focused, it's more likely to cause them to stumble.
Yeah, I think it's like it increases your critical hit chance.
Okay. And is the critical hit what causes them to stumble, or does it just do more damage?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
Not sure.
That's actually really nice. It's fun because it's what plays into, again, what this game kind of does best, which is charging in and, having to make split-second decisions. You can't just sit somewhere and snipe, right? The fact that you've got that window to melee means you need to run right up in there, even if there's other guys around. Which, luckily, you have that couple of moments of invincibility.
Yeah, definitely. But
it's pretty fun. I mean, even on these last couple of levels when I'm dying in some of these big fights, I'm never not having fun.
Yeah, no. The moment to moment gameplay is legit fun.
I was just thinking of one of the, I guess it's probably the biggest arena fight we have in this section, if I'm remembering correctly, by the crane.
Yeah, that's chapter what? 14? That's the beginning of 14, right?
Yeah, I think it's the beginning of 14.
Yeah.
But I died a bunch of times there, and just I'm like, well, I don't feel mad about this. I'll figure it out.
And there's a checkpoint in between there, I think.
Yeah,
they're pretty decent with their checkpoints. The only places that don't really have a good checkpoint system is the boss fights, because I died at the boss fight in chapter 12, Ramon.
Yeah, Ramon Salazar.
Mm-hmm. I died at him a couple of times, and I'm just like,
yeah,
man,
I was going to say I died probably 3 or 4 times at him.
Yeah. And
it took me a minute to just figure out like what his attacks were doing, because I felt like sometimes I'm like, all right, I'm going to get a shot off, and he would just bite me in half, or swallow me whole, even if I have full health. I'm like, all right, well, I need to be not near him under any circumstance like that. And then I got a lot better. He got a lot easier once I started using the stairways as shields, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent most of this fight kind of just hanging out by the stairs, going up them and then going down them, and not spending too much time in the open.
Yeah, this guy. So we run into him at the top of the clock tower, and we shoot him in the head, and he then mutates into whatever this thing is. It can stick to the walls and ceiling, and it almost like, because they play like classical music during the boss fight, and it's almost like it's waltzing the way it moves.
Reminds me a little bit of Venom.
Yeah, perfect example. And he is ragging on you the whole time. But his human body is inside the gaping mouth of this thing that's trying to chomp on you. So, and it opens up a good amount. And you have to, when it opens its mouth, you have to shoot the human inside. It also spits this black goo at you. And you have to try to dodge it. It also leaves these like little black pustules that will like explode when you get close to them. Yeah, I died a few times here, and it was like you were saying, I didn't know what this guy was doing. He was up in my face, and I was like, okay, shotgun time. And he then chomps on me, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was going to be an insta-kill. But you shoot him enough times, he falls to the ground, and you can run up to him and stab him. And that's
Again,
kind of like,
even a fight like this, like the first time I fought him, I'm like, I don't know what, I can't beat him. My weapons aren't powerful enough or whatever. But like to me, this fight is like the perfect example of the perfect difficulty level. Because every time I died in this boss fight, I got farther, I figured something out,
mm-hmm.
and it wasn't 12 or 15 tries before I killed him. It was like 4.
Yeah.
Which again for me is like the perfect amount of I died because he's hard. He should be hard. He's a boss, and but Leon prevailed in the
There
end.
you go. And this is tangent time. Where did we come up with the name boss for a stronger villain in video games? Obviously, there had to have been like a video game that just labeled this enemy as boss, right?
Yeah. When I think boss, I think the boss. It's got to be some kind of like. In my mind, it comes from something like a Final Fight style game, where you've got henchmen and then you've got bosses, mini bosses, the boss like the Don.
I'm thinking that or Double Dragon, something like that. A beat 'em up of some sort.
Yeah, that's what it brings to my mind.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah,
if anybody out there listening knows, tell me. Where was the first instance of boss used in video games? But
it's always stuck because you've got your Boss Monster board game.
Yeah, Boss Monster. That's right. But yeah.
Also, kind of a cool arena, right? Because it has that almost epitomizes that kind of decayed throne room look.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a lot of gold in here, but it's also all broken down and falling apart.
You could tell, like, that's one thing I'll give this game is, like, they have, and we said it in the last episode, the environments, you can tell, have been both lived in and something bad went down.
It always reminds me, that description, even when we mentioned it last week, it always reminds me of the original ads for Gears of War. And they're talking about, like, destroyed beauty. And that was, like, an aesthetic theme.
Oh, okay.
And they were talking about having these really nice things that were then ground down over time or because bad things happened.
Right. I guess you could say it's kind of post-apocalyptic. Something apocalyptic happened, and this is the remains of it.
It's just much more recent here.
Yeah. This happened like a few weeks ago.
It's just crazy to think about that, right? Because what is the time scale of this game from when they discover the Plagas to when these experiments happen such that they're infecting everyone they can find because it's no longer turning them into pure zombies?
Well, I think they started. Well, I think I read something that was talking about like the miners found something back in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't know what it was. And then I think like some researchers came to check it out, and like I think the upper echelon of this village, the people who ran who were in the castle and stuff, like the rich people, wanted to find out more about it. So they brought in their own researchers and said, well, ooh, this parasite can be used to control people. And I think that's basically what ended up happening. I think the Lord Sadler, probably started taking over this area with the Plagas the past probably year, silently doing it.
Do you think before that, the fact that people were turning meant that there was no upkeep? Because I kind of felt like there's no way this amount of decay happened in a few weeks. It must have been through neglect, as a lot of the people in and around the castle and the clock tower and all these, really nice places have kind of abandoned them, and they're focused on kind of their base instincts.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's pretty remote out there.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't come in and out. I don't know.
First drive in the very beginning of the game, really, like, every time I see it, I'm like, wow, there's nothing around. They are going through just dark forest.
Mm-hmm. Which is barely a road.
Yeah.
So, I think even the cops said, like, yeah, nobody comes out here. Why are you coming out here?
Is there anything... Do you know what dictates sort of the strength of these infected people? We talked about potentially the insect being like an end product, but obviously there's different strains that they talk about here, and people like Sadler or Salazar certainly aren't turning into bugs. They're turning into these weird fleshy, they almost look like teratomas, like these cancerous balls with teeth and hair and goop everywhere.
I don't know.
Do you think the amount of time, or if it's a process, then maybe just the longer the process? But it looks like, Salazar, for example, looks more infected than the boss of 14. The last person that we fight.
Yeah. I don't know.
He definitely seems stronger.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think, I don't know. Like, my thing is like, did Umbrella... Because, Umbrella's not really mentioned here in this game.
Yeah.
But did Umbrella get their T virus and G virus from this parasite? Did they
I feel like they must. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they say that at the end of this game. We're not there yet, but I thought I remember the first time I played this at the very end being like, oh, it all ties together now.
Yeah. Like this was like where the virus originally came from, was from this parasite.
Yeah, this is your Metal Gear 3.
Yeah.
Your origin stories.
Your origin story. Because it looks like this amber, which has been, Jurassic Park been locked away. These parasites have been locked away for thousands of years, and they roamed the earth back in the day, and we didn't even know about it, kind of thing. And now we're kind of releasing it, kind of like how the permafrost. They said that there's definitely viruses that we haven't seen ever in the permafrost. Yeah. That'll be fun.
I do love the scene later when you see that amber. Like, you see a lot of it, but then you actually get to see the tiny little Plagas babies embedded in that amber. That's super cool. And I don't remember what it looked like in the original, but it wouldn't have had that kind of real amber look where you can see through it and have that kind of translucence to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, beat Ramon. Get his lipstick. Her lipstick. Is it a woman or a man?
I thought it was... I don't know.
I don't know either.
Tell.
It turns into a giant blob with teeth that try to murder you.
Yeah, it's a monster in the end.
Mm-hmm. But we travel on to the next chapter, which we just talked about with the Regenitors.
Yeah, starts off the most Metal Gear that this game gets, right? Infiltrating an island base.
Yeah.
With, lasers.
Lasers and automated turrets.
Guards on patrol.
Dudes on patrol, yeah. Who wear body armor now. and helmets.
Yeah, so much for my long distance head snipe.
Uh-huh.
I thought maybe it would knock off their helmets, but it doesn't. Maybe if you shoot them a couple times, it does, but not worth it.
Yeah, no. Go for the legs, man.
Body shot them or leg them, yeah.
Yeah, infiltrating this area.
Did get the upgrade here of the because I had the broken butterfly for a long time.
Tell me about this upgrade. I don't know what
the
you're
Magnum.
talking about.
So, I just switched it for the Killer 7.
Oh,
the
okay,
Magnum. Yeah, the better
gotcha.
Magnum.
Yeah, I picked up the Killer 7 a while back. Been using it.
And then the other thing I did right at the clock towers when I finally made that switch to the better handgun, to the Blacktail.
Gotcha.
Although I thought I was going to be almost upgraded because I had the original gun probably 75% upgraded, and I had an extra 120,000 from selling things. So I'm like, oh, this will be easy. I'll just upgrade it the rest of the way. But even all of that, because it's got more like upgradability, or at least they're more expensive. It was only at about 2/3 upgraded at that point. So I'm not sure it was any better than what I had, but definitely by the time I got it fully upgraded, it was.
Yeah. So after making it past the lab, reuniting with Ashley, we go to the second part of this, where we do the whole trying to go into the loading area, right? And there's a big wall there. Well, we got to make our way around it, or we can just bust through it. So Ashley jumps onto a wrecking ball and starts ramming it. And this is that arena you were talking about where everybody and their brother shows up.
By the end of this, it must have been over 30.
Yeah, at least. And then one of those big dudes with the boar head on.
Yeah. The other annoying thing right before you do this, you have to do that bridge thing with Ashley. Do you remember that where you send her over to like hold a bridge up, then you need to go around through a couple of rooms over another bridge to switch the power.
That's the nightmare I had to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're trying to fight off people who are trying to steal Ashley, and also another Iron Maiden regenerator that comes down behind you.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's not my most fun fight.
No, it wasn't mine either. So what happened? I thought that was after this, but no, you're right. It was before this. So doing that, I was like, man, that's hardcore, and it also took me like 40 minutes to do.
Yeah.
She died a few times. I died a few times. I made myself die a couple of times because I was like, I'm already screwed. Might as well just die. Yeah, so I got to the point where I decided just to cheese it. So as soon as I turned the power off, I would then turn and wait for the guys to come through the hallway and shoot all of them so they wouldn't even get close to Ashley. Where I'm standing, the regenerator hasn't triggered yet.
That's what I did too.
Hasn't spawned yet. So now all I got to do is worry about the regenerator. And I was thinking, well, can he jump? So I just ran across the bridge, and I was like, he's going to jump. I'm going to have to fight this idiot. And then Ashley drops him because I was like, ordered Ashley like lower the bridge.
He was on the bridge.
Yeah.
Mario style.
So you didn't get that?
No, I just fought him.
Oh, yeah. So you can straight up run away from him, go across the bridge, and you actually just holds it there. And I'm trying to order her to stop, and she won't do it. And she waits for the regenerator to get on the bridge and then drops him.
Oh, that's cool.
And she's like, "How do you like that?" was like, "Whew, man!" Yeah, but I died probably 4 or 5 times here.
Yeah, me too.
I was
But
getting
I
to the
did the
point where I
same
was
thing
getting,
with you did it first. I at least got through the full first wave of guys
yeah,
with a rifle and just don't even have to worry about the regenerator. Then I did when he came, more guys came, like a second wave. So
yeah,
I did have to deal with both of them at the same time, but the section that you're in by the lever that you pull is a big oval, so I could just get off a few shots, run all the way to the other side, have enough time to turn around and aim. And when I was at the far side, I could aim either at the regenerator or at the person coming after Ashley. So I had reasonable vantage point to take either of them out.
yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't my favorite fight, but would have been nice to have a shortcut where you drop him drop him in the water.
Yeah.
Although it was just water, it shouldn't kill him, right?
I don't know if it was like, I looked down there
Was
just
it
for a
waste?
second.
Toxic
I don't
waste?
know if, was it water? I thought it was just like a pit.
Mm. Actually, no, I'm not sure. I thought it was just
Yeah.
water, but
But I actually came back to this area because right after this you get a request to go kill some rats in this area. So I came right back and killed the rats, turned that quest in, and then I went to go save my game. And I said that's a good chunk right there I played, and I hit save, and it sat there saying, "Saving game, please do not turn off your console," and it stayed there for 3 minutes, long enough for me to take a picture of it and send it to you, saying, "Hey, this is stuck. I may have lost my save."
yeah.
Well, it went away, so it finally like unstuck itself.
You didn't do anything. You
There,
didn't finally get the nerve up to try and exit out or do something different.
no, because I was texting you, and then I also put it in our Discord chat, and I was showing Ken and Jay, and they were both telling me like, "What do you like trying to suggest things for me." And then I looked up at the screen, and it cleared, but it shows like the little menu where it has all your saves. All the saves are gone, and I'm like, "Oh no, I lost all my saves." And I was like, "All right, well, it's letting me move the cursor up and down. Let me just click on one of those areas and hit save again." I hit save again, and it got stuck for another 3 minutes.
Oh,
And I was like, "Yeah."
jeez.
My game is screwed. I'm going to lose this. But then it cleared, and then my new save was there. And I was like, "Okay." So I backed out of it, went back to the game, went back into the save area. My save was still there. So then I backed out again, turned the game off, booted the game back up, and then loaded that save, and it was back where I was. So all previous saves are gone. They're completely gone now. And I had a save right there before the minecart, and I was going to go back and try to get that achievement, but that's gone now. But
It would have been a very unceremonious end to this set of recordings if you're just like, well,
no
I
kidding.
can't play anymore.
Yeah, I do not want to go through all of this again.
Yeah.
But luckily I was able to make a new save, so I still have one save.
That hasn't happened to me in years, getting into the end of a game and losing everything, but I'm still burned by those times in the past that has happened.
The last time that has happened for me where I lost a save, it was the weirdest freak accident ever. In fact, it was whenever we were doing, not Phoenix Down, but when we were doing Zombie Frog Game Club, way back in the day. We were playing Persona 3, if you remember. And, I was at least 25, 26 hours in that game. And I don't know what happened. Well, I know what happened. I was saving the game to end it for the day, and the power went off in the house that I was living at. And then I hear my roommate yell, and he then comes stomping back to the circuit breaker. He starts throwing circuit breakers, starts throwing breakers around. And I'm like, Alan, what'd you do? He's like, nothing. I was like, you sure do know where you're going for you doing nothing. Apparently, the house that we were staying at was not wired really well. And he plugged one too many things into the outlets in the kitchen. And it tripped the breaker. Turned the power back on. I go to look at my save. All my saves are gone. 20-something hours of Persona 3 completely gone. I was not happy. That was the last time that's ever happened. And that was, good God, before I worked for ZTGD. So that was, 2009 maybe? No, it was earlier than that.
This is definitely a near miss then.
Yeah, this was close. I think the last one you ever dealt with was Dead Island, wasn't it?
That was one of them. That and Dark Souls might have been the last one.
Oh, God, I forgot about that when we were playing it for Phoenix Down.
Yeah. I was at the end boss.
Yep, I remember that.
I think that's my last one.
Dude, you were like really close to the end of Dead Island, too.
Yeah.
And, God, I think...
Painful.
We were playing co-op together, and you're like, yeah, my save's gone. And I was like, oh, no. Yeesh. Yeah, that doesn't happen much anymore. In fact, I would say...
I'm not even too concerned about it now for most things, because most of my saves are auto-uploaded into the cloud, aren't they?
Yeah. There might have been a way for me to recover my saves, because I think everything's uploaded to a cloud. There may have been, I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is like whatever they showed me on that menu was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely counts as a near miss, man. That's scary.
Yeah, my heart sank. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? But it kind of fixed itself. I'm still a little bit bitter about losing that save that I had at the mine carts, but whatever. Who cares? Maybe one day when I retire, I will come back and play Resident Evil 4 Remake and get that achievement. But, yeah. So, I saved here and then quit. And then I was like, all right, I came back the next day and did the rest of this. And this is like where this chapter is like, holy crap, this chapter is long.
Given the fact that chapter 13 was just about 2 hours for me, I thought that it was going to end here with a cutscene at this crane section.
Yeah, I was thinking so too.
And it definitely doesn't. And then you go through multiple additional sections.
Yeah. Yeah, you go through this whole warehouse and everything. Loading dock area. Was there anything special in this area?
I think the main thing in the fight for me was that Ashley's still operating the crane while you're fighting everybody, which I thought was kind of funny because the wrecking ball is kind of moving back and forth. I was hit by it a couple of times, but I also lured some enemies into it and hit them with it, which I thought was kind of funny. And luckily, she's not too delicate, right? So I had a couple of people jump up onto the crane to try to, I guess, pull her out the window, it looked like. But they went down pretty quickly now with the handgun, so they didn't really do much damage to her or the crane.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues with this.
Yeah, I did die a couple of times. I got backed into a corner. I think both times actually were right in the last wave when all of the little or spider or scorpion looking plagas come out.
Yeah.
And they start infecting people and they look like something out of Dead Space.
Yeah.
Coming at you with extra limbs.
That's when I throw a flashbang and no problems.
Yeah, I should have done that. I threw a couple of regular grenades.
That'll get the job done too. But yeah. But the next section where you're going
after
through
this, you finally get to see that Amber. Which is cool.
At the very end. And you meet the big boss himself, Sadler.
He looks very different than he did in the original game. I could swear this was Ralph Fiennes in a hood.
What?
The actor, Ralph Fiennes, it looked exactly like him, I think, aside from the monster spits.
Yeah. Let me see here. Lord Sadler.
Like, you need one with him with no facial hair. And then just the lower half of Sadler's face.
Images. You're right. What did he look like in the original? I can't find him.
He looked like more of a tough guy. Like I don't want to say a meathead, but he looked more, I don't know about more sinister, because he looks pretty evil in every incarnation.
The original. Yeah, yeah.
Those big brows.
Yeah. He definitely looked different. You're right, though. The new one totally looks like Lord Voldemort.
Yeah.
No kidding. Huh. Anyway. But yeah, he uses his Las Plagas mind tricks on us. And
again, made me think of Metal Gear, actually.
Yeah, a little bit with Psycho Mantis. And he forces, Leon shoots him.
Yeah, right in the eyeball? Right through the eye?
Right through the eye. But he regenerates that real quick. And he uses his powers to control us. And he makes Ashley pick up Leon's gun. And you think she's aiming at him, but she's actually shooting. She pulls the trigger and shoots one of his little minions. Does it twice, and then she aims it at Leon and pulls the trigger, and just a click. And I'm like, oh, we forgot to reload. And then she drops the gun, and he's like, fine, you're coming with me. Why not just kill Leon there? I don't like.
I don't know why. He's clearly been a pain in everyone's side. The only thing I can think is that maybe Krauser said, let me deal with him. I've got history.
Possibly, but I don't think this guy gives a crap about Krauser and his history.
Yeah, fair.
The only thing I can think of, because it seems like they really want Ashley. She is like, I can't remember what they call it, but the chosen one, the perfect host. And they want her. Perhaps Leon could be a backup to it. I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, if there's a reason to keep him alive, it's got to be something to do with that.
Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of. So, but yeah, he walks away, takes Ashley, and then Leon, the mind control releases from him, and he picks up his gun, and he didn't forget to reload. The gun jammed. What a lucky gun jam.
Yeah. Some might say a little too lucky.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too much. But hey, you know what? Stranger things have happened.
Fair.
So, and I was like, okay, this is the end of the chapter. No, it's not. Got to keep going.
You're back out it's like nothing happened, and now you're on the island again. You're outside. You're going through little camps that essentially you could just keep doing forever. Apparently, in this level.
And we sniper. I went up the other route, so I was up above and killed that guy, and then I sniped the other guys down there. I was like, that was pretty easy. And then I go through this like little camp area, and you see a picture of Leon, and it says, "I'm waiting."
Yeah.
And then you get a little bit of more insight. So I feel like the Ganados used Krauser to be the guy to kidnap Ashley. It seems like he was the one who kind of orchestrated that whole deal. And then you also get a little bit of the history with the redacted stuff that happened back in 2002 with Leon and Krauser and their unit.
Which was 2 years before this game is set. Is that right?
Yes. So, get a little bit of backstory there. But yeah, we have to make our way to the boss fight ahead, which is Jack Krauser himself. And he has there's two I would say there's two parts to this fight.
You run his gauntlet.
Yeah, you run his gauntlet. He's got traps everywhere, automated turrets, bear traps,
laser mines.
Yeah, everything. He's shooting at you. He does come out and try to fight you a little bit, CQC, but this time I can use my gun, so I just shoot him in the face.
Yeah. Sometimes he dodges, but sometimes he just sits there and absorbs a lot.
Yeah.
Like, the first time you fight him where you have that opportunity, I think I pumped like 6 full shotgun blasts right into him at, 3 inches from his body.
Yeah. I did too.
This guy should be shredded. Like, it should be in pieces on the floor.
Well, he's got that parasite in him, man.
Yeah, regenerating.
Yeah, constantly regenerating. Making it through his gauntlet. He's like, now he gets a little super powered. He pulls out his Richard Birkin arm and mutates, and now he's coming after us in like this little catacomb area. Just a couple of times, he's basically toying with us.
In the dark when you fall through the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you make it back to the surface, that's when you have your big fight. So it's like this, it reminded me a little bit of Metal Gear whenever you're fighting Liquid on top of Metal Gear. Little circular area.
Yeah, I didn't realize how small it was at first. I guess you do have the upper level to that kind of semicircle around the outside, but I didn't go up there really until...
I didn't either.
I think I went up there actually the second time you melee him, because he flies away, and then because he does this like giant stomp thing that did some damage to me the first time, so I tried to follow him up so that I wouldn't fall off the edge.
Yeah, I never fell off the edge, but I did have to grip the edge while he's trying to stomp on me. And,
yeah, between the hit and then the stomping, it was a fair amount of damage you dealt.
Yeah. But I didn't die here. I got close, but I didn't die. Luckily, I had some healing items on me.
Same. I didn't actually die. I basically I just ran, right? You just kind of skirting him until he commits to a pretty big attack, and then you've got your window at the end of that attack. I mean, he hit me certainly a good number of times, but I didn't think he was actually all that hard. I thought there was going to be like another form to him.
Yeah. No. He falls over defeated, still alive, pulls out his knife, and he's like, "You do what you gotta do, man."
I thought you will.
I thought that Leon was going to be like, "Nah, you do it yourself," and walk away. But no, Leon just straight up takes his knife and stabs him right in the freaking chest. And I was
then coolly walks away.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, that doesn't feel like a Leon thing.
Especially because why is he doing it, right? Like, had it not been Krauser, would he have done that? Had it been a woman, would he have done that? Did it help that Krauser was now monstrous?
Possibly. Maybe he was thinking he's putting him out of his misery.
Yeah, although Krauser didn't really beg for it, right? It's not like The Fly where he's like, please put me out of my misery. You know, Krauser is kind of loving his life. It doesn't seem like he's all that remorseful, even.
Yeah. He was like, I didn't want to, I'm not fighting you for revenge. I'm fighting you because I want the power.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels out of character for Leon to just kill that dude when he had
Yeah.
that much history with him.
It's not the same thing because I was like, maybe it's too sweet to give everybody the nice ending, but I'm like, well, either Krauser has to come around or you just fight him and he dies by an accident, right? I feel like that happens in a lot of games where like you shoot them and they stumble back and then something falls on them, right? So that
Yeah.
they died, but you didn't actually have to take that step. But yeah, I mean, Krauser shows no remorse. Leon doesn't even really contemplate it for all that long. It takes
No.
maybe an extra couple of seconds while he's gripping the knife before he plunges it.
He
Yes.
just turned back and look at his body.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Just to make sure he wasn't getting up, or do you think he actually felt something?
I don't know. The better question is that when you make it to this area, the drawbridge comes up, right? So there's
Yeah.
no escape.
Yep.
As soon as you kill him, they lower the drawbridge for you. Why?
And yeah, I had that exact same thought. I'm like, what happened? Did somebody actively do this? I mean, because they easily could have had something Krauser did knocks one of the chains off and it falls down accidentally. Or what they've already done in this game is they could have just given you one of those like sandbags to shoot,
Mm-hmm.
and then it comes down. So why did it come down automatically? I mean, it has to be intentional, or they would have used one of those other routes. I would think.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there was like a kill switch.
I
Whenever
didn't find out though. I didn't even start the next chapter.
I didn't either. I stopped right there. Well, I did laugh at that. I was like, "Why did you lower the drawbridge?" He
Yeah,
was stuck there. You could have won.
yeah.
There's
It would
there's
have
multiple
taken you no
times that
work.
Lord Sadler turns into a Bond villain for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you my entire plan and not actually kill you. I don't know. It's a video game. Who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we both stopped.
That was a good long play session.
No kidding, right? It's but good. A lot
Good.
of
I
good
mean,
stuff there.
good set pieces, good challenges, good fights. I mean,
Yeah.
you get more backstory. I like the fact that you go through and, it's not just a memo that says, oh, we found the Plagas in the amber. You literally go to where they're mining it and see the amber.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing that gives it a little bit more, it again changes up the variety of the levels a little bit, but, it also plays into the backstory and also just makes it feel fuller because everything you kind of think you should see in this game, I feel like you do see.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Every
This
big
game
bad
goes
guy has
places.
its time in the sun. You get lots of good boss fights, at least visually good boss fights.
Mm-hmm. No, this is solid. I keep saying that, but I mean, it's a good game. Real good game.
I feel like we've come a long way since the lake, because whenever I think about Resident Evil 4, I think about the opening scene in the lake,
Yeah.
and some bits in the church. But we've done so much. Like, that was all just the first couple of chapters.
Yeah. I'm trying to imagine how many hours I am in this game. Maybe 14?
It's got to be averaging a little over an hour because a lot of them I feel like came in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
The shortest ones came in at 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, and I've been doing a lot of side stuff too.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'd guess I'm 15 or 16 in. 16 maybe.
Probably. But that's it for this week. If you would like to send an email, it is drew@ztgd.com. You can also follow us on X. I am at DMLFury. Matt is at REMGS, and the podcast itself is at ZTGD Phoenix Down. So we have we're going to finish Resident Evil 4 next week, and we have chosen our next game. So we're kind of at a standstill. We were at a standstill of like, what do we do next? So, we decided we were going to do we've played, sticking with our theme, we have played a game by Obsidian Entertainment, which was Alpha Protocol, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I think it's a fantastic game that is difficult to get into, but if you can get into it, it is great. I've never seen a game branch off into so many different choices that I have in that game. But we're going to play another game by Obsidian Entertainment, and that is going to be Pillars of Eternity is going to be our next game. So we're going to be doing that. If you would like to follow along with us and play with us, we definitely encourage you to do so. And if you have Game Pass, it is on Game Pass, both on the Xbox as well as the PC. So play along with us. I think it's going to be a good time.
It's one of those games I've had kicking around the periphery for so long that I'm excited to get into it. I like the perspective on it, and just I know very little about it, even if I've seen the kind of the splash logo hundreds and hundreds of times.
Millions of times, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with me. I've probably put maybe hour and a half, 2 hours into it and said, this is cool. I will come back to it, and never went back to it. So
yeah,
I will make a new character. Start from the beginning. But yeah, that's going to be it for us. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you guys have a great week. Until next time, I am Drew.
I'm Matt.
And we are out of here. We will catch you guys next week with the conclusion to Resident Evil 4 Remake.